What is up, YouTube? High Tech Lab here. I believe this is part 9, correct me if I'm wrong, of the off-the-grid power room rebuild series. And I pretty much have this thing close to buttoned up. I went ahead and cleaned up all these batteries just recently, checked them all for electrolyte levels. These are the ones that have been running, so these are all good. And then I went ahead and added 16 more. And I changed out these interconnect cables. These are now red for positive and black for negative, as you can see. I still need to change out the fire extinguisher. I'm going to get one of those halon ones that are good for electrical, but in reality, if there's a fire in here, the first thing I'm going to do is run and pick up the pieces later. I also got these changed out to red, so these guys right here. Now they're equal length, like dead on, so now I don't have any variances in voltage drop. And now I only got, this is 3/0 copper cable, and I only got red in this gauge, so I haven't changed it out yet. If you see this right here, this runs through this 2-inch conduit, up and over, around and down, and it's just kind of left in the gutter in here for the charge controllers. My plan in the future is to set a panel over here, and that's going to be my DC panel, but I just reconnected these with the 2/0 aluminum. That's this wire and this wire right here, because I'm not going to go all in and use this red. If the other half is just aluminum, I'm just going to change it all at once. But yeah, that runs the full length, so that'll be changed out, you know, as I get there. The aluminum is good for now, but if I add the other charge controller like I'm planning, you can kind of see the little box right in here for where it's going to go. When I add that third one, I will need to switch over to the copper because the aluminum will no longer be sufficient. So I don't know where I left off in part 8, but I got this right here, this 1.5-inch conduit. I have a unistrut on the wall. This is all, we're pretty much buttoned up at this point. I got a eyeball in here, emergency light, so if we hit the test button, you can see this is shining on the inverter, and this right here shines toward the door. So that is tied into this split panel. Now I still need to get the blanks for in here, but this is the inverter half, so if this breaker right here goes out, that automatically turns on. So you can see when that's on, that's off. When this goes off, that switches over to its battery backup and comes on. I have down here the generator side. This goes to this Solar Edge auto transformer up here, the white box. This goes to currently the inverter charger, and this is coming from the generator 60-amp breaker. This is coming from the inverter, this 100-amp breaker. That's going to get changed out to a 40-amp breaker. And this right here is going to loads. That'll also be a 40-amp breaker. So this pretty much jumps over to this panel, to this 50-amp main. So got a few breakers to change, a few more panel blanks. This whole half of this panel is all used and terminated. This entire half up to here is free, so these are all spare breakers on the right. So I need 3 panel blanks there and quite a few over here, but I'll get that as I finish up. Now I have 25 inches from right here to right here, so that's where I'm going to put a enclosure with a hinge door, and that's where all my controls are going to be. So that's what's going to have the transfer switch, contactors that transfer this panel's power between this half and this half. So that's still kind of a work in progress. But overall, I mean, for now, it's put together, it's working. It's not completely optimal. Over here I have a 1/2-inch conduit running over 90 with a kick, down 90, and ends right there. These 2 wires right here go to my solar tracker, and those are going to come off this first battery. And I have the battery equalizer on the top rack only because I realized that it doesn't do any advantage tied to all the batteries. If they're all balanced, I shouldn't need that balancer. But I'm leaving it on the top rack because I'm only pulling from this battery. So that balancer will help to correct for drawing on this battery and not the full string. So it'll keep the string balanced essentially. So that's where that is. So power for the tracker is done. You know, I have a few odds and ends. I need to get the correct cover for this gutter right here, because that's a Beeline gutter, and the rest are Hoffman. So, you know, minor changes. Got a battery on regen mode right there, box of parts, but overall this is really, you know, I'm proud of this. This is how I had drawn it on paper. One of the things that I kind of want to do is get these bus bars powder coated actually, because right now they're bare. I'll get them powder coated black and red, you know, red for positive. I'm thinking I can actually just unbolt the whole thing from the isolators, because it's only got a 3/8 bolt going to these isolators. So if I can unbolt, you know, one bus at a time, take them to the powder coater, get them powder coated, I think that would be pretty sweet. It's raining today, so we're not doing so great on our solar, as you can see, based on the graph, but you know, with this much capacity, this is 100 kilowatt hours of storage, assuming 100% depth of discharge. So 50% depth of discharge is, you know, 50 kilowatt. So if you look, you know, we've gotten 1.7 and 1.5, so about 3 kilowatts today. But if you look on our graph, if we go back to this and go next day, or my bad, data log. So this is today. If we go to yesterday, we only used 5 kilowatt on the one charge controller and 8 on the other, so about 13 kilowatt. So if we're at, you know, 3 kilowatts for today, you know, we're only 10 kilowatts short. We're only 10% discharged on this entire bank. So a 10% depth of discharge isn't bad to wait till tomorrow to charge them. Either that or I'll run the generator tonight. I'm not sure, but you know, it's just the little things. You know, this control panel I'm saying I'm going to get here is going to handle the automatic generator start and whatnot. So that's about it for today. I'll see if I have anything else I've done to show you guys. Oh, this water filler. I took a 15-gallon, it looks like it says Fimco. Yeah, Fimco Industries. This is for spraying like Roundup or whatever. But I filled it with distilled water, and I have this air compressor wand, and this is actually what I'm using now to fill my batteries. If some of you guys had seen my original off the grid, living off the grid with no power bill ever video, you'll remember I showed a 5-gallon bucket that I hooked onto the air compressor. This is a million times better. I mean, I needed 2 people to do the 5-gallon bucket. The air compressor blew the lid off. This, I just clip onto a battery. Obviously, I have plenty of batteries to clip onto. And I just go at it and, you know, have at it. Transformer is no longer used, so. Anyway, that's about it for this video, I think. I've gone rambling on long enough. Stay tuned as I get things more complete. I will make a overall overview where I talk about everything technically, you know, go over everything. So this is kind of just an update for you guys that have been following along with the series. So thanks for watching. This has been High Tech Lab. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.